Lakeview has been a Nutrilite farm for over 50 years, but due to the expansion of Los Angeles, the farm is changing its role.
I see Lakeview evolving into what I like to refer to as an ag research station. This will be the hub of all of our farming operations around the world. It'll be at Lakeview where all of our research scientists in farming techniques and plant concentrates are located. It'll be here that we will be studying plants from all over the world in our greenhouses, determining the best way to grow these plants, and then growing these plants at our different farming locations around the world where we have different environmental conditions more suitable to the actual growing of those plants.
We have the majority of our research scientists here at this location and concentrate development specialists, people who are familiar with the plants but also familiar with the processes necessary to extract the nutrients from the plant materials. And these people are then making and developing processes that we can then utilize at any of our farming sites.
It takes a real team effort. It's not just the farmers that are growing the plants. You have the scientists who have the original idea. You know, there's a phytonutrient we're looking at. There's something that a particular plant offers that we want to pursue.
We primarily look at plant concentrates. Our responsibility is making sure that what you see here is in alfalfa form turns into something that's nutritious in a finished tablet, and the concentrate is the key ingredient. And so we specify how to harvest the crop all the way into extraction and finally concentrating it either to a powder or some sort of liquid form.
Another part of the research effort is ensuring that the best possible seeds are selected and then propagated.
We're looking at garlic right now, and we find out that even though we're growing it at our farm in Mexico, it's actually better to produce the seed in our farm in Washington. So this could be a good marriage where we're actually sustaining the seed on one farm, low production, very careful, slow production. That seed is then shipped down to another farm where it goes into the production mode.
We are always looking at ways to grow and nurture the soil in a better way and to grow our plants better, but that kind of basic research will be done here in our test plots in the fields and in our greenhouses.
The most important aspect in releasing any nutrients in the soil, the minerals, is the biological community, the microbes. So we have a really good range that supports any type of plant, but we're really working to fine-tune it, whether it's alfalfa here in Lakeview or acerola cherries in Brazil. We can, through studies, be able to really fine-tune the type of compost or the exact levels of minerals that we want for those plants or the different soil types.
Another area of research is into the use of beneficial insects that control what could be called bad bugs.
Bad bugs are scale that suck the nutrients out of plants. One of the preferred beneficials for them is the ladybug. Green lacewing, they are basically the preferred beneficial of the insect world. They're considered the pit bull. If you were to sweep the fields, you'd look at a bag that had good bugs and bad bugs. Probably more good bugs. We've been farming in this valley since the 50s, and they've taken care of this farm.
We will continue to look at new ingredients, new crops, and we'll be continuing to develop agricultural practices at this site that will be used at all of our farms in the future.
Lakeview will always be the kind of the heart and soul of Nutrilite, where all the basic research and future research will be done in this very exciting and exploding field of phytochemical research.
Trout Lake is a 700-acre farm set deep in Washington state in a small remote valley. The farm grows a number of different herbs, but their main crops are two species of echinacea, which they grow to produce a powder concentrate and an oil extract. The farm manager is Kevin Ernst.
We grow valerian, dandelions,
marshmallow, red clover, alfalfa. The list goes on, and really it changes from year to year depending on what the market is. We grow a lot of stinging nettle, and that's for two different products. One is for the root, and the other is for the aerial portion. We've fine-tuned our drying process here at Trout Lake Farm so that we can seal in the natural goodness that's in the herbs. We do that by manipulating the drying process so that we dry them as quickly as we possibly can, yet not drying them at such a high temperature or so quickly that we drive off those essential phytonutrients that make Nutrilite's products so good. We began a ag research trial last season in a field here. It's about a 7-acre field, and we're looking into several different varieties of berries. Berries are very high in anthocyanins. They're very good antioxidants. We think that there's great potential for it, and we know that this farm will produce great berries for Nutrilite's products. The soils in Trout Lake originate on the mountain behind me. They're all volcanic in nature, so it's very rich soil. It has a lot of minerals in it. We take a lot of care in making sure that our soils are at their peak with soil life, and that will then equate to good nutrition for the plant. The whole of Trout Lake Valley is truly organic. Many of the people who have small farmsteads here may not be certified organic, but they don't do anything that would be contrary to what organic standards are. We don't really have any neighbors who are conventional farmers that can contaminate, and that's just due to the fact that we're so remote and such a small little valley. This farm over the years has had an influence on the neighbors. They've seen the economic benefits of having an organic farm. We've been able to show other people that they don't necessarily need to do things the way they had been doing them to get the same results. Organic farming is all about fitting in with the natural world. When we farm, we make a conscious choice to alter the natural world. We take what was there and we change it quite a bit. But we realize that the natural world has had a balance for a long, long time that keeps all the various organisms in populations that are manageable. You don't do anything in biodynamic farming without wondering how it affects something else in your system. So from a holistic point of view, it's a wonderful, wonderful system.
El Petacal Farm is located in Jalisco in central Mexico. It's over 1,300 acres and employs 250 people. Its main crops include citrus trees, alfalfa, broccoli, parsley, watercress, and spinach. Rodrigo Vargas is the farm development manager.
Our most important crop is our citrus trees. These are harvested when the desired compounds and all those great phytonutrients are present in the highest concentration. Then the fruit is washed and is then diced so that it can be efficiently dehydrated. This stabilizes all these phytonutrients, and then it can be milled and turned into a much finer powder, which then goes through extraction.
Because of Petacal's temperate weather, alfalfa grows all year round. This means the farmers can harvest the alfalfa when it's at its peak and has the highest concentrations of chlorophyll in its cellulose fibers. Another reason that Petacal can grow healthy crops all year round is its naturally rich soil. its mineral content is enhanced by a thin layer of ash that's occasionally deposited by a nearby volcano.
We enhance the microbial life of soil, which makes all the nutrients available to the plants. So what we do, we grow plants that can take the nitrogen from the atmosphere and lock it into its tissues, and then we make use of these tissues as a natural nitrogen-providing material to the next crop.
I find it satisfying to know that we are producing crops without using pesticides, which at the end of the day destroy our health. I feel very grateful to be working with organic crops and to know that they will help towards better health and better quality of life for everyone.
Organic farming is about the interaction of community. This is plant communities, animal communities, and people communities. They're all enclosed and they're seen as a whole. That's why it's organic.
When Nutrilite first bought the farm, the local community had no basic amenities, so water and electricity were supplied to each home. People's health was generally poor, so nutritional supplements were given to anyone who needed them, and mothers were advised what food they should give their children. The nearest school was miles away, so classrooms were built and clubs formed to help the children to improve their reading and handwriting.
My goal is to enhance the soil conditions, allow for balance, allow for microbial communities, plant communities, animal communities to work together as a system. My goal is to allow future generations of all of these communities a better opportunity for life.
Ubajara Farm is located in northeast Brazil, 3 degrees south of the equator. The 5 basic crops are acerola, coconut, passion fruit, guava, and pineapple. The main crop is acerola cherries, one of the highest yielding plants for vitamin C in the world. The fruit is harvested while it's still green, as this is when the vitamin C reaches its peak of about 3.5% of the cherry's weight. Each tree can harvest up to 80 kilos of cherries a year. The farm has around 188 hectares of acerola, which produces over 3 million kilos of fruit a year. After picking, the fruit is immediately taken to the farm's own juicing operation, where it concentrates the acerola juice by 300%, ready for shipment to Nutrilite's facilities in Buena Park, California. Richard Charity is Nutrilite's Farm Development Manager.
The farm was selected because of its altitude and moisture, but it derives from a sedimentary, sandy condition, which made the original fertility very low. Perhaps our biggest challenge on the farm was to bring this almost inert soil into a living condition that we could reach a new sustainability level in terms of life in the soil. To get the best out of our soil, first of all, is to build it with proper nutrition and the right set of microorganisms. You need a lot of life. We estimate about maybe 8 tons of live bacteria, funguses, and organic matter per hectare.
Ubajara is now almost self-sufficient regarding its soil fertility. It has achieved this by being a mixed farm and using the manure from its own cattle to help produce compost, designed specifically for the soil and the plants that it grows.
I think biodynamics expands the principles of organic farming in that it organizes all its different elements so that in the end, ultimately, these elements start working and supporting each other and then we create a sort of an organism with its own life. Biodynamic agriculture also looks at the farm as being an entire whole, and suddenly the human being is part of it. We don't want people to come here just to work. We want people to feel that this is their home. I think people create an environment that is conducive to hope and a lot of positive energy. Water is the basic element for life, and we have a river, which is the main tributary of the dam, of which we take water from. There's a great need for planting trees on both sides of this river to stabilize the banks, to give shade and even nourishment to the life of this river. In 2 years, we planted almost 50,000 trees. Brazil is the country of soccer, so today we have 5 soccer teams on the farm, one of which is professional and represents us in local contests with other communities. Nothing is supposed to stay as it is. When we describe the farm organism idea, what I like about it is that it is just like a human being. It has to learn how to walk, it has to grow, it has to learn. In the same way, a farm is born in a sense that you start creating the diversified elements, and then slowly you integrate these elements so that they start really performing as organs within this farm, and that each organ has a specific function, and they all work together to make this farm self-supporting, self-regulating. The vision for Nutrilite farming practices is to continue going beyond organic principles, to become truly biodynamic in all our activities, to create an example that will lead to the development of responsible, sustainable farming that positively benefits our world through both its produce and its system of operation. My personal dream is to contribute to changing the face of the Earth's agriculture.